we're met at the airport for the last leg of our journey.
And finally, the last leg of the journey. The taxi.
Oh my god! Who was a spider like that big?
My grandfather came from India as an indentured laborer. Villages, they wave hands and they greet us. A lot of places nobody wants to greet you, nobody wants to know you, but here, this is really Fiji.
To the town of Levuka, where our ship is waiting.
We started on April 2nd. But since we crossed the international date line, we're skipping a day. So April 3rd does not exist for me. So that was a long, not travel day.
We are sailing with Captain Cook Cruises aboard the Reef Endeavor. The small size means a more intimate experience where you get to know people from around the world, and the crew actually knows your name. And the ship has plenty of amenities for the whole family, including a sun deck with a pool, a spa, sauna, snorkel, and dive boats. The connecting rooms are perfect for families with younger kids. But one of the best parts of a Captain Cook cruise is their excursions. Today we're visiting a school in Levuka, where they're having their traditional dance performance. Levuka was the original European settlement in Fiji, which is apparent by the 1800s colonial architecture around town, where vendors hawk everything from toys and household goods to fruits and vegetables. So we give the kids a bit of spending money. We always give them some local currency for markets at the beginning of a trip. Our kids make quick friends as they mix in with the group and watch the dancing. The kids' voices are amazing, and with their traditional dress and the lush green mountain backdrop, it's quite spectacular. After the show, our kids take a look around the school and play with our new friends, who accompany us back to the ship.
Today we awake in the bay at Savu Savu on the island of Vanuatu, which is the second biggest island in Fiji. Once known for its sandalwood, the island is now Fiji's sugar bowl, with lots of sugarcane plantations. On the way to our morning snorkel trip, we pass a pearl farm and watch as the divers pull in their catch. After lunch, Seamus hops in the pool with a dive instructor to complete a Discover Scuba course so he can dive with us later in the trip.
Always breathe slow and easy, okay? Don't hyperventilate.
Kids can get certified to scuba dive as early as 10 years old, making for a fantastic way to immerse in nature and adventure as a family.
In the afternoon, we head inland on a hike through an amazing rainforest. But this isn't just any hike.
We are going tubing on a river in the middle of nowhere.
We ride in a truck full of inner tubes and then hike with our tubes, fording rivers and crossing fields until we reach a put-in place and float back down the river, stopping to jump off some cliffs along the way. After riding the rapids and a short hike back,
That river's tiring.
we have a traditional Fijian snack,
It's a moo. What is it? A moo. Moo. We call it in Fijian. Yes, it's moo.
Fresh coconut! Yay! Thank you. Oh cool, he gave me a little scraper.
and then we hike to a nearby hot springs to warm up in a volcanic bath, as Savu Savu is positioned on an extinct volcanic crater.
When you do get in, just feel free to paint your face and put it on your body because it's a lot of fun. Now there are places in there that you can sit down.
We're going into hot springs and it's... Oh! Ouch, it's hot! Oh!
And the kids go crazy, painting mud all over their bodies and faces.
Now you guys can play with mud. You're giving the thumbs up.
Today we explore the garden island of Fiji, Tavayuni. The green here is amazing and seemingly unending. After a short ride along a bumpy road where the kids keep themselves entertained with other kids they met on the ship,
Bang, shield. Bang, bang, shield.
we arrive at the trailhead to Boma Falls. There are 3 falls here. The first one is a short hike from the visitor center. A light rain falls, cooling us off along the hike. And the kids spot lots of wildlife along the way.
There's a ton of toads around here, toads and frogs. There was a big one jumping up the wall, and then there's some small ones jumping around everywhere.
The waterfall plummets almost 75 feet, thundering into a pool below, surrounded by giant boulders and layers of green in all shades.
So we've hiked up to Boma Falls here on Tavayuni.
We went all the way behind the waterfall, and we jumped off the rocks into the midst of the waterfall.
Surrounded by giant boulders and layers of green in all different shades. After our hike, we have lunch in a pavilion overlooking the river where the kids meet local kids. And then we head back to the boat for some afternoon fun.
This afternoon, we're exploring below the waves in one of Fiji's best diving spots.
Our maximum depth will be 12 meters only, okay? And follow the guide.
Seamus is a bit nervous but feeling prepared after taking his diving class yesterday. So we review some of the dive signs, are paired up with some dive buddies.
Seamus looks to either be me or Manny.
Oh, okay.
With Aiden, and you could buddy up with Nathan.
To descend into an underwater paradise.
Here you go. There you go.
This evening, we've been invited by the locals of Naselisele village on Tavayuni to enjoy a traditional Lovo feast and dance. When we arrive, we're informed of the traditional customs still observed here when entering a village in Fiji.
Please keep the talking to a minimum. Just sit wherever you can. As I explained, to be seated is polite in the Fijian culture, to stand is impolite. So if you want to stand, please only right at the back of all others.
And shows us the gift we bought for the village.
The eldest and the chief is here today. They're gonna sit at this side of the community hall, and we're gonna hand over our sebu sebu.
After a Kava ceremony, which involves singing and chanting,
We're about to have some kava, which is a traditional Fijian drink. It's in a big bowl, and they just made it.
we are welcomed into the village. They pull the food from the lovo, an oven in the ground, and it's time for dinner, which includes fish, cassava, and tropical fruits. After dinner, there is more kava and lots of dancing. The kids make good friends and lots of fond memories.
I got her necklace. She gave me your necklace.
It's Sunday on Tavayuni, which for much of the island means church service. But we're invited to attend, and what an honor it is. The Fijian voices are amazing and make for a powerful worship service. After church, we hop back on our bus and make our way through town with lots of shouts of Bula along the way. And head to one of the strangest attractions on the island.
I thought it was yesterday, but it's really today.
The 180th Meridian, or the International Dateline, runs straight through the island of Tavayuni.
Well, I just time traveled into yesterday. I just time traveled into today.
allowing visitors to stand with 1 foot in today and 1 foot in tomorrow. And the boys have lots of fun jumping from present to future and back again.
You came by boat?
And that's the jail cell. The cell.
Cell block.
The guy in there is being interrogated for stealing a horse.
This afternoon, we hop back to Vanua Levu to enjoy our last stop in the Northern Islands. A postcard-perfect crescent of sand lined with palm trees hanging out over the water, Whispering Tide, where one of the crew members explains the importance of the palm tree to the Fijians.
From the roots, we use it as herbal medicine. We use it for headaches and stomach aches. The ladies, they take the roots out, pound the roots up, or if you step on a stonefish, you can apply the juice on the wound as a first aid, right?
It's a helmet.
And he shows us how they use the leaves, making baskets.
He made this boat out of palm leaves, and it can move.
And he shows the kids how to husk a coconut.
And the thin end, which is which is hard. So we'll work the soft end, which is thick in fibers, onto the spike. And with one hand holding on, the other hand pushing down, we'll work our way around the soft bit.
Thank you.
Okay, you can sit.
Today we are heading back to Viti Levu through the channel to its north, and the second officer has invited the kids onto the bridge to learn more about how the ship works.
What does the second officer do?
I'm in charge of all navigation and medical supplies.
He shows them how the navigation works on a ship like this.
So the radar sends out signals, and anything the signal bounces off comes back as a target on the screen. All the green colors is exposed during low tide. The white bit is deep enough, it doesn't get exposed. We've got 2 big sets of radar at the bottom of the ship at the back, and that steers the ship. So as soon as you move the wheel, the radar moves.
So if I move this, that would move?
Yes. Yeah, we're going this way. We're going to this island, or this side up there.
How do you become a second officer on the ship?
You attend a maritime college for about 3 years, and then if you graduate, then you go and do a set of oral exams with the government, and then if you pass that, then the government gives you a license.
On this, our last evening on board, the crew hosts a Kava Ceremony for us with lots of dancing and fun.
This morning, we're heading to the south side of Viti Levu to spend a few days relaxing and exploring Fiji's main island.